today's episode of the High Handicap Challenge, we are playing at Wellsford. We'll be trying to go 9 over or better, 3 greens in regulation, no free putts, and hopefully no lost ball. This is my first time playing the course in wet conditions, and we're going to start things off with a downhill par 3. Got the 8 iron in hand, and it's the first swing straight out the car. Let's see how it goes. And it's a clean connection, to be fair, just slightly off to the left. However, it looks like we've got our first green in regulation of the day. Great way to start the round. As you can see, the big divots that are going to be made today on these wet greens. So longish putt to try and lag up there and hopefully avoid the free putt scenario for this kind of range. And that's pretty close. But am I going to make this putt to start things off with a par and to avoid the free putt penalty? Bit of pressure on this first putt. And it goes in nicely for a opening par. Maybe I should play just straight out the car more often. Cheeky little smile on my face going over to the second hole. We have a par 4 now uphill. So taking the 5 iron from the tee here. Again, driver not quite ready to come out on all the holes. So just want to get this one up in the middle of the fairway. Not the cleanest of connections, come out a little bit low. And it's not gone too far, and obviously no rollout in these wet conditions. So I wanted to just throw another one down because there's a slow group in front of me. And just practicing that backswing motion. And smacked it into the tree. Thankfully, that was the second ball. Still got a bit of work to do here, so I'm taking the 6 iron from the middle of the fairway. Slight uphill lie. And I've put that off towards the trees. And we're going to have to hope that that's not the first lost ball of the round. Don't want to cross that challenge off early doors. So taking a provisional here. And that one's straight up the middle. Just slightly to the right of the green. Fortunately, we did manage to find the ball. Unfortunately, the ball was here. So you can't really see from this angle because I couldn't get the camera back there. But that little tree is dead in line with the flag. And it's also going to be my follow through of the club. So decided the wedge is a bad option here. So I'm going to just try and punch it out towards the green. And try and get it up on the bank. So taking an 8 iron at this one. And managed to follow through and hit the tree. However, didn't break the club. And the ball got up towards the green. Actually got to the top of that bank just in front here. However, it rolled back down. So leaving me with a 60-degree wedge to try and chip up onto the green. And let's hopefully we can get this up and down. And that's a pretty solid first chip of the day. So it's going to give myself a option for bogey. Still a bit of work to do, however. Let's see if I can get this one close or hopefully make it. And just not enough on it. Had the line, but just came short. So we started with a par and got a double on our second one, so we even out to stay on track for +9. So this tee box crossed the one on the 11th tee. So I had the 3 lads behind me there, and I had to set up my camera, put my ball down, and hopefully hit this one pretty well. And thankfully I managed to pipe the 5 iron right down the middle. I thought that could have easily just been top 20 metres in front of me with that extra pressure. But thankfully we move on. And we've actually given ourselves a very good option to get our second green in regulation here. We're about 80 yards into the pin. Let's see what we can do. And I took the 56 at this one. And it was a fairly solid strike. And hopefully it'll be up there. So we're on the green, but look like 2 tiers. It's also a shame how wet it was today. And I had no idea what the green looked like, so I didn't realise it was on this massive hill. As you can see, I pitched up on the right there, and I've rolled back down to this spot. So a fairly nasty putt uphill. Just want to make sure I get onto that second tier and give ourselves an option for par, and also to avoid any potential free putts. And thankfully I've got it up there. We've still got a bit of work to do to rescue a par. Then again, that looks a little bit closer from this angle, but it is downhill. Pretty common miss for a high to mid handicapper to end up further away from the hole than what you started. But let's head across and let's hopefully sink this one in for par. And that's what you'd love to see, just going straight into the heart of the hole. No doubts as soon as it left the club. Nice and easy work to get that par. Want to start 2 pars early doors, walking through this lovely little bit of forest area on our way to complete a couple of challenges as well. So, you know, let's see if we can carry on this form going into the 4th hole. Stepping up to this long par 5 now, 5 iron in hand. Probably one where I hope to get the driver out eventually. However, I don't know what this course is like as well. So safe bet is to stick with a 5 iron. I say safe, I did not expect to slice it off to the right. So for the second time around, the lost ball challenge is at risk. So we're going to put down a provisional and hopefully get this one at least in play somewhere in the fairway. So I'm going to try and smack this one with a 5 iron, give it a real whack to get up there. And that's the strike that I wanted to put on it. Right down the middle, perfect shot. Still hope that we don't have to use it though. And thankfully I managed to find it in this divot just to the left, so someone else has clearly been here. And also I'm not going to play out the divot, don't know if that's a rule or not, but clean and place wet conditions anyway. And I managed to punch that one right through the middle, thankfully not hitting any branches along the way. As you can see, pretty surprised that I didn't hit any trees there. And that's the provisional ball right there. But thankfully we don't have to use it, and I probably got myself a thumbnail picture. So finding the ball means that I don't really have to do anything too risky here. I decided to opt with a 7 iron to lay up for a wedge shot into the green. And I think that actually went sideways and the topspin grabbed forward. I'm going to move the stick and I'm going to change clubs because I'm a firm believer that when you do a shot like that, you should always take a moment to reset. And also now I'm going to attack with a 6 iron instead of a 7 iron. And I think when you put the bad club in the bag, you give yourself that little mental reset that's required. So again, 6 iron in hand, let's try and get it up there. And I've pushed it out to the right. However, it has gone forward this time, which is a bonus, but we're in the fairway on the right hand side. Didn't want to interfere with the others, so left the camera behind. And hit the pitching wedge, and ended up coming a little bit short there. And I'm going to blame that one on rushing and not really knowing the distance of the shot. So the 2 mishaps has already put us on our 6th shot here. So could really do it whipping out an up and down here or something outrageous. So 52 in hand. And that looks pretty nice. It's rolling towards the pin. Very happy with that. And surprised, especially after those other 2 shots. But anyway, let's see if we can get this 1 putt in and save a double. So keep the +9 alive. And we've managed to sink it in, so putting's been pretty solid so far. And no lost ball, despite potentially nearly losing it twice. So second par 3 of the round. Opting with a 7 iron on this one because it was slightly uphill, I found. And I absolutely pured that. And in doing so, I've gone well longer the green and into some potential thick rough. So I'm going to hit a provisional, and again we might have lost that ball. And this time the provisional has come short off to the right. However, I can see it, so at least we know we've got something to play with. Thankfully I could see my first ball off the back of the green. However, I really wanted to give this little intricate mini flop a go. Because it's always good to practice these little shots on the green because you can't really practice them elsewhere. And there was a slow group in front of me. And that was just outrageous. To get that close from there was just, I don't know, that's probably the best little mini flop I've ever done. But it means absolutely nothing other than a little confidence boost. Anyway, we're going to walk quickly across to find our other ball at the back here in a bit of deep rough. And taking the 52 at this one, going to hopefully chip it up and roll it down towards the flag. Get a good few practice swings to make sure I come through the rough on this one. And that's come up really nicely. And the downhill green is going to roll towards the pin. And that's a lovely shot if I don't say so myself. So the wedges are just dialed in so far. And it's going to give us another option for a 1 putt for par. Although it is downhill, so it's a little bit tricky, but I'm going to make sure to clean it up. And I've actually managed to add on a couple of inches to the putt there. So that's probably why you should mark the ball before you clean it. However, I did not do that, and I am now punished because of it. Let's really hope I don't come a little bit short here. That would be devastating. Anyway, taking my time on it. Let's try and get it in for par. And straight into the back of the hole. Never in doubt. There was definitely doubt going into that.
Very happy with that up and down, and also that little mini flop from the provisional was pretty satisfying as well. But let's see if we can keep this up and keep going.
So all checklists still intact and looking pretty strong. Need one more green in regulation if we can tick that one off. So par 4, 5-iron in hand, and piped it right down the middle. I think that provisional on the par 5 gave me the confidence to attack that one fairly comfortably. And there's the cow mooing. Take that as a little cheer. Clearly a big fan of the channel. Anyway, back to the shot at hand. Taking the 6-iron at this one, trying to get towards that green. And I've pushed it just off to the right. Slight bit of a fadey slice. Testing out another angle to show you guys how much higher the pin is to the actual ball. So,
Tempted to flop this one after that little mini flop before.
Again, confidence in the wedges really shining through. So pretty comfortable that I'm going to get this one up there. Unfortunately, it went off to the right hand side, but it is up on the green. We are putting. However, I really want to give that a second go, as I thought I could really nail this one. And again, rather than put pressure on the group in front, I can just chill back and relax. Get some extra practice in. And that came off exactly how I wanted it to.
Huh? Yeah, that was my second shot though, so it doesn't count.
So little kid said it was very close, and that it was. But honest play, that's not going to mean anything other than just a good practice shot. So now over to the main ball. Let's see if we can save par. And it looked like I smacked that. However, the uphill really slowed it down and actually left it to a fairly simple tap-in bogey. But I'm going to take my time, as I don't want to miss this, as the little kid is still watching. And thankfully just routine putt for that one. So +4 going into the 7th hole, looking very strong on the score. So taking a 7-iron at this one. And unfortunately I pushed it off to the right hand side. And I'm pretty sure that's gone into the field. So unfortunately that's the lost ball challenge crossed off. It's free from the tee. And we're going to stick with the 7-iron because I think I just pushed it off to the right. And I've absolutely pured that one down the middle.
Oh, be good, be the one.
And then it's gone long in the end, but it looked like it's going right at the pin.
That might have gone long as well. I'm all over it there. Too much club. 160 metres. It's about time we got a rangefinder because these country courses don't get the best of signal, and I've trusted the sign which said 160 metres. So I hit my 7-iron. And I've actually cleared the green and looked at the app and it was showing 150. But on the previous hole, the distance was different and it was wrong on the app. So, oh well. Hit it pure. Let's see if the first one's in play, but that one's probably long.
Yeah, the first ball was definitely gone. Second ball's gone well long in the pin, as you can see. So chipping on with the 60 degree to get out of that rough stuff. And I was hoping it's going to roll down like on the other hole. However, I've got a bit of work to do here. And it looks like it's going to go in. Oh, so close to saving it up and down there. Unfortunately, with that one going out of bounds, that means this is going to be the first triple of the round.
First triple.
But really, I'm going to blame that on the distances on the hole. I don't get par 4s like this, where the tee box is lined up to the right, whereas it could just be lined up straight with the hole. And I really struggle with these. And that 4 is exactly what went through my head, and that's the outcome. Slice it off to the right. Thankfully it was a very short par 4, and those trees aren't obstructing my way to the green. So I'm taking the 8-iron at this one. Made sure to avoid the trees, however I've come off to the left of the green here. So we're going to have to chip on again, but the wedge game's been pretty strong so far. And that's come off pretty clean. However, it's got caught up in the rough and it's not going to roll out. Leaving us with a short 52 here, So don't want to go long on the pin here, as that's downhill. And it's a nice little chip just onto the green, and it's slowed up nicely. And it's going to give us a putt option for bogey. As you can see, rushing a little bit towards the end of the round now. But we've made it in for bogey, keeping the +9 alive. So the last 3 challenges come down to the last hole, which is a short par 5, so it's a favourable hole to end on. And I found the 5-iron right down the middle, so happy with that one. We're going to be in play, and we're going to be well on our way to tick off those 3 challenges. So now 6-iron in hand. I put it off to the left a couple of times this round. Let's hopefully get this one straight. So taking a bit of time to line up properly. Pressure of last hole, mind. Slight uphill. And I think I rotated a bit too soon and I pushed it off to the left. I don't know what's out there, so I'm just trying to hear any trees I may hit.
That might be 2 foot. So it's going to be a full 60 degree, which we're not going.
So managed to find it, and I need to go for this green in regulation, so I'm going to have to go over the trees. And that's the cleanest 60 degree I think I've ever hit, on the full anyway. And I've drilled it right next to the pin. As you can see, I'm pretty amazed by that one. Get yourself some Lazarus wedges in my affiliate link below.
Never doubt the 60 degree. Look at that, that's got to be one puttable, surely. Let's have a look at it. Look how soft these winter greens are.
So now, pretty good chance to finish off these 2 challenges now. Shouldn't really free putt from here, and I'm currently putting for birdie.
Okay guys, I hope you liked the episode. I think we ticked off a couple of checklist challenges. Let's see if I can sink this one for birdie. Hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you next time.
So this should be a pretty straightforward scenario now to tick off 3 of the 4 challenges. However, anything can happen in high handicap golf. As a lot of you guys are aware, could easily miss one of these. Hopefully you wouldn't miss it 3 times though. Can we finish on a bird? And it's hit the back of the lip and lip down. A little bit too much pace on it. But we're going to finish on a tap-in par, completing 3 of the 4 challenges. So I'll catch you next time. Be sure to check out the other videos on the left and subscribe to the channel.